What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 72 hours. We do have some huge topics to discuss. Firstly, Nico Williams transferred, all but validated. Full agreement has been reached, and all that is left is to pay his release clause. The question is when, and also how. We have updates on that, but he will not be the next signing for Barcelona. The next signing for Barcelona will be Roony Bardghji. Full agreement has been reached with Copenhagen, and also on personal terms, just waiting now for the final green light on the move. Everything has been agreed upon. We'll discuss what kind of a player he is, his position, and where his role will be as well. Cheeky little hint might be at Barça Athletic. Of course, with signings coming in, we're gonna need some exits. We have updates on the exit of Ansu Fati, Pablo Torre, Andreas Christensen, of course the big one on Marc-André Ter Stegen, where Flick is planning to meet with Ter Stegen to tell him he is not part of Barcelona's plans. Also some big renewal updates as well on Frenkie, Jong, and Szczesny, with both expected to put pen and paper on a brand new deal before the end of this month of June. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 72 hours. Of course, the biggest update that we do have is on Barcelona's most likely next summer signing in Nico Williams. According to Ferran from Sport, everything indicates that Nico Williams will in fact be the second signing of the summer for Barcelona. We have some further details as well. Ben Aid came out saying that Barcelona will continue to work on the Nico process with the same silence and caution that marked Joan Garcia's deal. The club is at a very important stage of the process. Nico is very happy with Barcelona's response. Remaining things are, of course, paying the penalty clause, the release clause, and organizing the fair play side of things. Captain Zero come out saying that Nico Williams will be a Barcelona player unless something unexpected happens in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Gerard Romero came out saying that there are people at the club who say that the Nico Williams deal could be closed at some point next week, and others who prefer to be more cautious and wait for the financial year and assess the situation again. Now we are getting more reports from Marca vis-a-vis the Athletic Club. Journalists in the Athletic are clear about Nico's transfer. They want the full release clause in cash. They will not accept any installment payments, even if the amount is higher than the release clause. Barcelona had suggested Nico to approach Athletic with the idea of installments, but Nico knows that if he does so, he will need to meet with an immediate no. So Barcelona tried to use Nico, say, hey, look, go talk to them, see if we can get a payment plan, and Athletic are just not budging whatsoever. Now, Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Nico may attempt to approach Athletic personal through his agent to persuade the club to soften their stance on demanding a full payment. He hopes the club will be understanding of his situation. However, Barcelona remains skeptical about the possibility. The club will wait to see how things unfold. If there's no breakthrough, they are prepared to immediately trigger his full release clause. Of course, Barcelona have said this multiple times in the media, and they will continue to say so. We can afford it. We can play it all up front, but of course, you gotta do your best to try and prolong it. If I have $1 million, I'm not gonna go give the whole, if I buy a house, $1 million in cash, I'd rather pay $100K every month than just give the $1 million up front. Why? Because you want to prolong it, you want to keep that equity that you do have and maybe spend it on other things as well. So no real issues there, but Barcelona are still keen on trying to do maybe an installment plan or some sort of payment terms for the release clause and paying it outright up front. Gerard Romero also came out saying that a lot of noise regarding the Nico Williams deal until Barca can actually close the deal. Noise is coming from Bilbao and Munich, as apparently Bayern Munich executives have returned back to Munich to negotiate with Nico Williams, but Barca believes it has everything decided. There have been reports recently that apparently Bayern Munich have now entered the race back in for Nico, saying that they will give him more money than he wants, more money than he expects. So all they can really do now is just chuck money at him, because clearly he wants the Barca sporting product, unless they overpay him to absolute shit. I don't think there's going to be convincing of this player. We saw kind of the saga last summer, how it's not really money about him. If it was, he would have went to Bayern Munich 2 weeks ago and not waited for Barcelona and taken less money than what he agreed with Barcelona last summer. It's a matter of principle. It's a matter of what's his best for his career, and his best for his career, of course, is to play to Barcelona. But Bayern Munich are trying again. We'll wait and see if they do end up tempting him or not. Alex Pentel of Relevo came out saying that Barcelona's deal with Nico is finalized, although everything has its own due process and timing. Barcelona is counting on Nico to start the pre-season. And finally, Sport came out saying that Barcelona does not plan to activate Nico's release clause in the coming weeks. Nothing will be finalized before June the 30th. Club is working on the idea of Nico Williams joining in the first 2 weeks of July. So again, the plan is still very clear to activate his release clause in the new month of July after the financial year. Barcelona do want to get some exits and renewals done before then, which we'll talk about in just a few seconds. But the plan is for him to be day 1, July 13th, doing his medical checkups with the rest of the Barcelona team. And again, we're at a point now where all we have to do is activate the release clause and everything will be flowing. We of course saw what we had with Joan Garcia. We activated the release clause, I believe, on Friday. He was officially announced on Tuesday, so that's how quick this deal can get through with release clauses being involved. But all that is left now for Nico Williams is for Barcelona to pay his release clause or whatever kind of agreement they can come up with Athletic Club, and that of course will take time, most likely entering the new month of July. Now, alongside Nico Williams, there is also another left winger that is absolutely twerking his arse off to join Barcelona this summer, and that is Marcus Rashford. We do have some updates on his situation as well. Catalunya Radio have come out saying that Marcus Rashford's camp confirms talks with Barcelona in recent days. The very likely arrival of Nico Williams does not prevent the club from keeping this option as a market opportunity. Rashford is very keen to come and is willing to wait. It's very, very clear that it looks like Barcelona are going to be going for 2 wingers this summer. Of course, one being the star one, Nico Williams, the other one being kind of a reserve option, cheap option, low-cost market opportunity to come provide some squad depth. John the Mirror also came out saying that it can be a very long summer for Marcus Rashford with the Joao deal and Nico deal still processing. Marcus wants to come, and it's known what options United can in fact play out. But now the player has made the initial move on his end. He was speaking with some Spanish YouTubers, trying to, push for a move to Barcelona, talking about his idols, Thierry Henry, this and that. He was talking about Lamine Yamal as well, saying, look, it depends on how you look at it in regards to the Ballon d'Or. I think if you just look at football ability, Lamine wins it, but if you look at, Champions League implications and Dembele has to win it, it depends on how you see it. I wouldn't be disappointed whichever one of them does win. It's difficult to put into words what he is doing. He's playing at 16 at the highest level. It's not normal. It's not normal to be able to do what he's doing. He's going to keep improving, and in 3 years' time, don't know what we're going to say about him. He also has been liking Barcelona posts and Barcelona player posts like no tomorrow on Instagram, so he's doing his part, to be fair to him. He's twerking, he's making moves, talking nicely with the club, saying the club, I'll wait forever, this is where I want to go, I'll do whatever you want me to do to push for this move. So I think, if we do go for another winger, this Rashford option is becoming nice. I wouldn't rule out entirely Ivan Perisic quite yet either. That's a Flick bet there. He's really, really versatile, more versatile than Marcus Rashford is, although Marcus Rashford is definitely better on all fronts and most of the fronts than Ivan Perisic as of right now. But an interesting option here, we're seeing a player that's making all the movements in his regards to make this move to Barcelona reality. Just now down to time. I think Barcelona will not look at another left winger probably until August, and they want to get this Nico Williams deal done, focus on exits, your Ter Stegens, your Pablo Torres, your Romeus, maybe some renewals as well. I don't think we'll really be back into signing another player after Nico Williams until August. Would that be another fullback as well? We still need a fullback. Do not disregard that. So we'll see how things do turn out with Rashford. Again, he's making the move publicly and pushing to get the Spain move to Barcelona reality. Just really down to Barcelona whether they take the punch or not. But as of right now, it is likely that Barcelona will make another signing before the end of the financial year, and there will be a signing before Nico Williams, and that is Roony Bardghji. He of course was that Swedish talent that we talked about over the past few days being a likely option for Barcelona. Whether he will be that 4th winger in the first team or going to the B team remains to be seen. This kind of, senses to me like a lot of what we did with Pablo Torre 2 years ago, but this deal is basically done. The news broke from Santi Ona of Football Mercado saying that Barcelona and Copenhagen have reached an agreement for Roony Bardghji. The transfer will be worth around 2.5 million euros plus 50% future sell-on clause for Copenhagen. Porto also bid 2.5, but Rooney rejected them and he wants to join Barcelona. Then Romano came out confirming the news as well, saying that Barcelona are finalizing a deal for Roony Bardghji from Copenhagen with only minor details left. The Swedish winger is set to join in July, and Barcelona and Copenhagen have plans to get the deal sealed from next week. That is beginning of July. Deal worth around 2 million plus add-ons and a sell-on clause. Here we go, expected soon. So this deal will be finalized at some point next week, and he will be the first signing, to say, in July before most likely Nico Williams. Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo came out confirming the news as well, so that as it started, the Bardghji deal is very serious and not for December, but for now, for an amount between 2 to 3 million euros, a future investment somewhere between Barcelona's B team and the first team. He got injured, but now he is fine. The kid has been a Barca fan since he was little, and he wants to fulfill his dream. Now, we don't know about this. There have been some quotes of him coming out glazing Real Madrid recently, but again, this deal is fast approaching. Mateo Morito has also come out saying that Barcelona see Bardghji as a talent for the future. The general idea is for him to train with the first team, although be playing as a B team player, as a Barca athletic player, although it's not ruled out that he may travel for Barcelona with the Asian preseason tour so that Flick can get a better look at him. So again, this is going to be one of those youngster signings, like, you know, your Noah Darvik from a few years ago, your Pablo Torre from a few years ago as well, your Mika from a few years ago as well. This is a talent that Barcelona are investing some good money in. Most likely going to be looking at a return on investment, or maybe they will succeed in the team. Again, Roony Bardghji will be registered as a B team player for Barca Athletic. He will not be in the first team, so this probably means that we will sign Roony Bardghji, and maybe on top of that, Nico Williams, and on top of that, maybe a Rashford or a Paris. We're gonna be signing 4 or 5 wingers here, but he will be a Barca Athletic player. May or may not go to first team preseason tour. I think he probably will, since a couple making an investment on him. I remember Pablo Torre, Mika, Noah Darvik all went on the Barca preseason tour when they were signed. So this is going to be in a very similar stratosphere to that. Also, Carlos Monfront of Sport came out saying that Deco had a meeting with Roony Bardghji's agent back in during the season after the Barcelona Atletico match in Madrid. Deco has been monitoring the play situation to a point of serious consideration of his signing, which could take place in just over a week. So he will be the next signing for Barcelona. I'll confirm once the transfer goes through. I'll get an individual video out for him. This is a big talent. A lot of players and clubs have been monitoring him over the past few months. We let United were interested at some point. Now Porto are really pushing for him, but Barcelona have swooped in as they do see him as a good talent. We, of course, the last time we missed out on was Lucas Bergval. I think last summer was kind of this you know, youngster for 2, 3, 4 million that Barcelona do like, and we have done it in the past as well. You know, Mika turned a profit. Noah Darvik, his future's unclear, probably will turn a profit for us this summer. Pablo Torre, same circumstance as well, so it really falls under that kind of category here with Roony Bardghji. And again, it comes down to him performing on the pitch and making a name for himself in the first team, but he will start with Barca Athletic. So we'll see what happens over the next week or so, but this deal will be finalized. 2 million fee, 15% add-ons as well. We'll wait and see what the final details are. We're expecting a 4 to a 5-year contract for Roony Bardghji as well, and another talent joining the ranks at Barcelona. And do not forget, if he does succeed, we are counting him as a La Masia graduate. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be leaving Barcelona over the past 72 hours. The first one up is Ansu Fati. This deal has been imminent now for about a month, but now it looks like things are really progressing. The deal has collapsed and gotten back about 4 or 5 times now, but looks like we are looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Monaco are planning for Ansu Fati's medicals this week. Monaco and Barcelona are expected to complete all details on a loan with a buy option. Here we go, expected this week. So again, the deal is now back on. They're looking like they're very close to an agreement, closer than ever before. His medicals are booked for this week, I think near the tailor end. You're looking at Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday. That's when Ansu Fati will travel to France to do his medicals with Monaco, and also Monaco are expected to sign Paul Pogba as well. We'll wait and see what the conditions are on this deal. I'm hoping we pay less than half of his salary, but the most important thing here is getting his wages off the book in terms of FFP, and also having a player go out and grow. We'll wait and see what the buy option is as well, what the conditions can be. Will there be obligation, option, mandatory if they qualify for Champions League, mandatory if they win League or whatever it may be. We can't really judge this move until we know the details, but this move is close to completion. Now, a player in which the club do want to get rid of this summer, but the player as of right now is quite hesitant, is Andreas Christensen. Fabrizio Romano has come out confirming that Christensen is expected to leave Barcelona as part of the plans highlighted by Deco, who mentioned one of the 5 center backs would need to leave. Gabriel Sanz came out saying that as of right now, Christensen only has offers from Saudi Arabia and he won't be accepting any of those offers. Condensero also came out saying that Christian wants to remain at Barcelona. He has turned down offers from Saudi Arabia, is pleased with the support he's received from the fans, and his family is very happy with him living in the city, and Christian does not want to leave Barcelona as things currently said. According to reports, Flick has kind of chosen Araujo over Christensen. And to be honest, I know why and I understand why he's done that, but I still would keep him. I mean, listen, he has a year left on his deal. Looks like he's not going to leave this summer. He's either going to, stay in the team or leave for free next summer. I think there is a player there. I know his injuries are poor, and look, I'm not staying in the way. If you want to get rid of Christian, by all means. I told you guys back in February, if he gets injured again, I'm done, and he got injured a week later. He's just... the injury record is just so poor. I think like I said, fully fit all of our center backs in their prime. I think Kubarsi and Christensen are the 2 starters, and I will die on that hill. But I understand the club's perspective. He has 1 year left on his deal. You want to maybe retain some of his value, maybe save his wages for the last year as well, especially in terms of FFP. I understand the club here completely, and I understand Christian's viewpoint as well. Like, look, I was injured last season the whole time. Give me one more chance. I would keep 5 center backs. Again, a lot of our center backs are injury prone. When you look at, Eric Garcia, Araujo, Christensen, even Inigo as well. I know Inigo was pretty fit last season. I think he was out for only a month, but still, in that month, you're gonna need some coverage. So I wouldn't mind keeping 5, especially good to have, Kunde and Eric Garcia kind of fill that right hand side. But I think the club, if you told me you had to sell Christensen to bring in a fullback, I would do it 100% without a shadow of a doubt. I think that's the club's mindset. They want to have, Eric on the right hand side with Jules, maybe move on one of Gerard Martin and Hector Ford, then bring in a fullback, and with that need to be done, space needs to fill up in the defense, and Christensen is the last soldier, which I do get. I personally would maybe even look at considering letting go of Inigo before Christensen, because Inigo has no long-term future. I mean, the guy's 36, Kraken warrior. I think his weight in the dressing room though is too strong to let him go. So we'll see how things do play out. Maybe an offer comes in that tempts Christensen, then he'll end up, accepting it. We'll wait and see how things do turn out. But right now, the club's mindset is to get rid of Christensen, but Christensen himself wants to continue. But a player that will be leaving Barcelona this summer in a very most likely scenario is Pablo Torre following Spain's elimination in the Under-21 Euros. Torre now is up to discuss his future. Gabriel Sanz and Deportivo came out saying that Pablo Torre will leave Barcelona despite their high regard of him. The club is unable to hold on to him. Barcelona are providing a permanent transfer with a cheap buyback clause or a loan extension. The club views him as crucial for the season, for the future. And again, we know the talent of Pablo Torre, and I can see Roony Bardghji doing this exact same thing where he gets a little chance in the first team, doesn't play, then leaves. Again, as long as Barcelona control his future some way, somehow, that's all that everyone wants. Whether he renews his contract and leaves on loan, whether we sell him with a buyback option, sell him with a future sale, maybe sell half his rights and keep the other half as well, like we did with Abdi Islazelu to Betis 2 summers ago. I think all options right now are open and are on the table. Sport came out saying that following Spain's elimination on the 21 Euros, it's time now to focus on Torre's departure. One thing's clear is that he won't be wearing the Barca shirt next season, but the club don't want to lose him permanently, and they want to keep a connection with the player. An immediate resolution is not expected, but neither side is interested in dragging the process out. The midfielder and his circle want to make the best decision and avoid making a mistake with the next team that he'll play. So it's quite clear he will not be a Barcelona player next season. Whether he's going to be a Barcelona player on paper or not is where the big question comes in. Again, my opinion, as long as you hold part of his future, that's all I care about. Sell with a buyback, loan him out, but if you loan him out, you have to renew his contract because he only has 1 year left on his deal. That's all you can ask for. I wouldn't just outright sell him. I think he will definitely go to a club in Spain, and also if he does go on loan to that club in Spain, you have to put that clause in where if he plays Barcelona, they have to play a fine. I don't want to see Pablo Torre cooking us at the Camp Nou and taking points off us. Definitely has that ability, so I want to make sure that is very, very clear. If he does go out on loan to a Spanish club, the fear clause must be included in the deal. That is the Mateo Alemán legacy, and you have to put that in. So wait and see what happens with Pablo Torre, but the only thing that's guaranteed right now with his future that it will not be at Barcelona next season. Another player that will 100% leave Barcelona this summer is Oriol Romeu. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Oriol Romeu has been told by the club to look for a new team. He is not in Hansi Flick's plan. I mean, I could have fucking told him that. We didn't need Hansi Flick to let him know about that. So any means necessary by Romeu, we'll wait and see how his departure does materialize, whether his contract will be terminated. We loan him out again until his contract expires. We some way somehow sell him, probably not for money, but maybe just sell him with variables included. I think we're looking most likely here at a contract termination with him agreeing a deal with another team to take over for his contract as a free agent. We'll wait and see. Maybe some Saudi clubs who need another pivot can maybe take him up. Qatari club, maybe lower tier La Liga teams, or maybe some top teams in the Segunda division. So we'll wait and see what happens to Romeu. It's not done to him to find the club. Again, there's no future with him at Barcelona whatsoever. Just not done to finding a resolution. But the departure that we're all looking forward to the most in terms of FFP and also revolution at Barcelona, it is the exit of Marc-André. Ter Stegen. Catalonia Radio come out saying that Ter Stegen's knee, previously troubled and operated on, suffered a serious headed injury earlier this season, raising concerns within Barcelona about his long-term fitness, and this is a very delicate injury. Barcelona believes his knee hasn't fully recovered, which has led to doubts about his role. That's of course signing Joan Garcia. Now, also on that matter, Fernando Polo Deportivo came out saying that Flick has not spoken with Ter Stegen and he's on his vacation, and Flick will now bring up the topic of missed vacation and disrupt him. Flick wants to bring Ter Stegen's topic up and speak with him face to face once he rejoins the squad from his vacation. Hopefully it's a little bit before preseason actually begins. I know we know that Deco, of course, in yesterday's video confirmed that Flick's going to be the one that talks to Ter Stegen, not any of us. Ter Stegen now has a new girlfriend. Maybe he'll be a bit more happy in life to move on and do so and go somewhere else perhaps. But yes, situation is quite delicate. A player on big wages, on a big deal at the club, that needs to leave the club to really massively benefit us with FFP, and someone who also has no future at the club as well. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out with Ter Stegen, but no talks until he does return from his vacation. Now, a player in the squad that is probably currently attracting the most interest from outside is Fermin Lopez. Gerardo Mero came out saying that Hansi Flick knows there may be departures that he may not like from the team. Fermin's name is apparently being making rounds, as he reportedly that he may. Fermin's name is apparently being making rounds, as he reportedly he may have offers for him, although for the moment Flick is not ready to listen to offers for him, and he considers him a very important player for the team. Following this, Mundo Deportivo confirmed that Fermin Lopez wants to stay at Barcelona, and Hansi Flick is also counting on him. I still think it's a bit of a farce that we need a big sale. I think we just have to clear FFP, and this will come when, you know, Torre leaves, Romeu, Iñaki Peña, Ansu Fati, Ter Stegen. Yes, we're not going to earn any money from those exits probably, but in terms of FFP removed from the wage bill, it will be massive. All we're going to be doing this summer is investing 100 million. The fact that we made almost 900 million last season, all we need to do is invest 100 million to make this squad perfect for next season is, you know, what we need. I don't think a sale of, you know, 50 plus is needed this summer. If it happens, it happens, but I think the media saying it needed is just them jumping to conclusions. I think it's quite clear that all that's really needed is FFP space, and that of course comes down to wages, not in terms of transfers coming in. I think in terms of profit, the, you know, Barca division and all the other stuff for the VIP boxes and seat of Espai Barca will compensate profit needed. I don't think we need to do it in terms of sales. So we'll see how things do turn out. But again, for Fermin Lopez's future is definitely one to watch out for this summer if really intriguing offers do come in. Now, in terms of making money on players, Barcelona are expected to earn some hefty % on fees for two player sales this summer that we, of course, sold in the past. One being Ferran Jutgla. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and according to Deportivo, Ferran Jutgla is now expected to move to Celta Vigo from Club Brugge for a fee of around 7 million. Of course, we sold him for 5 million with 10% of future sales, so we will receive 200,000 euros from this operation. So we will be facing Ferran Jutgla next season in La Liga. He is going to Celta Vigo, 7 million euros. That deal's already done, and of course we had a 10% sell-on clause, which means that we will earn 200,000 euros from this sale. Big W there. And also one of Mika. Marmol. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Espanyol are reportedly increased in interest in Mika Marmol. His contract expires in 2026 and doesn't he seem to have the keen to renew his contract. Las Palmas are fixed on his 10 million euro release clause being his price, and should Espanyol activate his release clause, they will be handing Barcelona 5 million euros. Reportedly Roma and Como are also interested. So don't forget, we have a 50% sell-on clause for Mika Marmol. His release clause is currently 10 million, and Las Palmas will not negotiate whatsoever. So whoever buys him have to activate his release clause. And with that being said, we will earn 5 million. Imagine giving, you know, Espanyol 30 million or so, let's say like 25 for Joan Garcia, and them giving us 5 back for Mika Marmol. That would be absolutely insane. But again, watch out for the future of Mika Marmol this summer. We will hopefully receive around, I would say, 4 to 5 million euros if this transfer does materialize. And again, more money coming in for Barcelona without needing to sell our current assets in the team. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, on the contract renewal of Tech. Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Tech's contract has 10 days remaining officially at Barcelona, although there is no danger as a verbal agreement was reached weeks ago. Nothing has changed and everything's on track for him to renew his contract with Barcelona for 2 more seasons. Of course, the 1+1 reported documents are now being exchanged soon as the deal can be soon officiated. So he only has, 7-8 days left of his official contract at Barcelona, but of course there are going to be no issues. It will be renewed and Tech will be one of the 2 goalkeepers for the first team going into next season. The next and final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Frenkie de Jong, and this deal is imminent. Gerardo Romero has come out saying that Barcelona hopes to extend Frenkie de Jong's contract by the end of this month, which of course means in the next week. They hope to finalize it by the end of this week, as this renewal will help generate more room for FFP, which means that Frenkie de Jong will either take a deferred salary or a salary reduction completely. Ferran Martinez also confirmed this as well, saying that Frenkie's renewal is not only response to sporting success and sporting reasons, but it's also important that we extend him, and that of course will generate some room in terms of FFP, and Barcelona would gain margin following his extension. So the club want to finalize his deal before the end of this week, so you're probably going to be expecting, I would say, hopefully Frenkie renewal and Tech renewal by this week. Then Roony Bardghji first week of July, Nico Williams second week of July, and of course somewhere there you'll see an Ansu Fati departure to Monaco as well. So a lot of things happening, but this for me is absolutely huge. A fully renewed Frenkie de Jong, fully deserved from him. We're expecting it to be quite a short-term deal, like maybe 2-3 years. I would be shocked if it's 4 or higher, but this is of course a very important renewal for Barcelona, not only keeping a strong player, fantastic talent, and integral part of this team, but also creating FFP margin to help us make further signings in the summer. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 72 hours. A lot of talk in this video so far about FFP, and we do have an FFP update. Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo came out saying the club believes they'll fall under the 1-1 rule, while Javier Tebas disagrees. Tebas argues in March the club's auditor, Krohn, did not validate this income because the seats didn't physically exist yet, but Barcelona insists the seats are already being built as confirmed by Lecmac and will be usable when the stadium reopens in September. They believe the issue will be resolved once auditors send the required documentation to La Liga. Jaime Miguel also came out saying that Laporta is confident regarding the club's financial health, even in spite of La Liga's fair play restrictions. He assured fans and employees that the treasury is improving and has presented record-breaking budget figures. The way that Laporta has improved this club financially is nothing short of remarkable. Again, barring logistics, we will be in the 1 rule. Again, the registration and stuff like that will not be an issue. I don't think Frenkie de Jong's renewal will be very important as well. Other sales, including Inaki Peña, Ansu Fati, Ter Stegen, the money coming in for the VIP seats as well. Maybe a first team sale. I'm very, very confident the fact that we will be in the 1-1 rule. Of course, we didn't do it last summer, and now we should be able to do it, especially with us activating the Nike renewal back, what was that, in like November, December time-ish. So there's no doubt in my mind that we will be in the 1-1 rule. I think Harry Tebas just being a little bit of a bitch, for being honest, but no worries here in my opinion, and the club are also conveying this message to the fans as well. Now, on the topic of Espai Barca, we do have an update on when we will return to the Spotify Camp Nou. Ferran Corazon Sport came out saying that Barcelona has sent a request to the Barca City Council to play the Joan Gamper there. The City Council has 2 weeks to review the documentation sent by the Barcelona and issue the building and operational permits. Following this next step, in the Lisco district, who's responsible for granting Barcelona with 2-3 weeks in initiation occupying permits. Following this, 2 more permits, one regarding evacuation in the mandatory hospital area and the other being the central operation unit of the Mosaic de Esquadar that needs to be issued as well. Barcelona knows the schedule is very tight, but the club is confident of playing the Joan Gamper in the Spotify Camp Nou. Again, in terms of the pitch and in terms of safety of the fans, everything should be okay. It's just narrowed down to the logistics side of things. Mundo Deportivo also came out saying that Barcelona are taking all the necessary steps to prepare for a Spotify Camp Nou return following UEFA's inspection visit this past Tuesday. The club expects to receive UEFA's inspection report within 2 weeks. Before the inspector returns again later, they will have already been able to observe key areas. The final clearance, which will determine when the stadium can be officially reopened, will come from the City Council and Fire Department. Barca submit the necessary paperwork to get Fire Department approval to host the Joan Gamper Trophy match already. So again, basically confirming what Ferran Corazon said from Sport. Mundo Deportivo also do agree with it, alongside the UEFA inspection that happened last Tuesday. So things are moving for the Camp Nou. Again, we already gave up the Montjuic, the Olympic Stadium's already go. We did not renew our license, so if we don't play the Joan Gamper at Barcelona at the Camp Nou might be coming in my backyard. We'll wait and see on that. I'll keep you guys posted. I charge nothing, so you can come play for my backyard for free. No worries there. But again, Camp Nou return looking very positive, looking very likely. Just now down to logistics being approved by the course and administration in Catalonia. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss for the end of this video is in regards to what Hansi Flick is currently planning for Barcelona's Gala 11 to begin this season. Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that the plan for Hansi Flick and his coaching staff once Nico Williams arrives is as follows. To start Nico Williams on the left-hand side, Minimal on the right, Rafinha in the 10, and then Dani Olmo at the false 9. Lewandowski will slowly lose importance due to his age. Now, I did mention this front four being a likely scenario in my Goals TV video last week. If you haven't seen it, check out the community tab. I went through all the options. I did say that this one is the second most likely. I don't mind this, but I do not like that we're signing Nico Williams to provide competition in depth. It does not mean he should come straight in and start. I'm not really too... I don't mind this. If this kind of, molds into our starting for December, January, February time, March, don't have any problem with it. But I think starting with this is a bit far-fetched. I think it's disrespectful to what Lewandowski did last season. I don't think benching him straight away should be the, straight option. But I don't mind this. I think this team could really work out well. But we're really trying to shoehorn everyone in, when in the reality, we should be using players in their position to provide the squad depth. Again, Rafinha is a fantastic 10. He can definitely do a job there. But I personally think that Dani Olmo is on a different level. So I think it should be, Dani Olmo on the 10, Yamin on the right, Rafa on the left, Lewandowski up front, our same front for last season to at least start this season and see how things progress, injury, form, stuff like that. But, despite that, where, Nico Williams is basically coming in for Rafinha's position, you could say on the left-hand side, Rafinha is undisputed. Joan Garcia came out saying that Hansi Flick has made it clear to Deco and Boyan and the club that Rafinha is not to be touched, irrespective to the arrival of Nico Williams. If need be, Flick will adjust positions in the 11 for him because he's strictly not to be touched. So Flick sees Rafinha as an undisputed starter for this team some way, somehow. Whether it be on the right, in the middle, down the left, Rafinha is a starter. Just now comes down to where he does end up playing. Now, very, very quickly on the coaching staff and the players, they received a very, very sexy bonus for their, heroic campaign last season. Each player in the team received around 1.25 million euros in bonuses, and Hansi Flick's technical team as well earned about 40,000 euros each from their success as well. So a lot of incentive there for the players, and hopefully this will give them more motivation going into next season. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 72 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. The main thing I want first, of course, is your thoughts on Barcelona signing Roony Bardghji, if you're in favor of him being in the first team or starting off with the B team. Second, thoughts on Ter Stegen. You think he'll leave quietly, he'll leave with the fight? Or your thoughts on Frenkie and Szczesny renewing their deals hopefully by the end of this month of June? And finally, your thoughts on Nico Williams. Do you believe he'll join before preseason or not? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.